Hey everyone, so this is Black07 here, and today we'll be going over our PFA Week 4 battle for Season 9. So we're up against, I believe, Honor or Dor. So we battled him in my finals and several other times at this league. So, to be honest, it's one of those games that, like looking back, it's probably one of the more aggressive matchups I had. Yet, I knew that I had to play in a very defensive way because the thing is, like, he has like very offensive threats, like as you see, like the Volcarona, the H slash, and the Staraptor. So, one thing you'll notice I would like to mention is that H slash does not have King Shield. In this league, we actually kind of banned the use of King Shield with Gauge Slash. It's a weird complex pan. So, kind of like, you'll probably have Protect, but you know, I could play around with it, so yeah. But the thing is, Aegis Slash plus Bulu with terrain is pretty nasty. He actually brought Xatu. I think the other Pokemon that he had, I was thinking he would bring Donphan, Mantine, or even Terrakion. But like the fact he brought Xatu was like, oh god, I didn't like that. So, already this is something I don't want to battle because of the way like my team plays. So, but anyways, I have a very cleric Florges, you know, standardish. Mega Late has Sword Stance with Rock Tomb and I believe I think it's either Ice Punch or Drain. I know it has close combat for sure, because or Drain Punch, but it's whatever. But I have Suicune with Subtoxic, Calm Mind Skull, just to burn, spread status. Archon is pretty interesting this week. I have Rocks, Poison Jab, Rock Tomb, and Stomping Tantrum. And the reason why I brought Stomping Tantrum was something of a innovation slash sort of necessity, as you'll see, and I'll explain this during this game. And I brought a more defensive Ultras with Chari Berry to take on Bulu and Hidden Power Rock Volcarona. So I do have to be careful what kind of hidden power this Volcarona has, whether it's hidden power Ice or hidden power Rock, if at all. So, and lastly, I do have this Silvally here. It's actually a Silvally Steel, and it has Parting Shot, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and I believe Defog, or whatever. I think it's I know its only attacking move is Ice Beam, but I do have Thunder Wave and Parting Shot to at least weaken the Volcarona. And just if you look at his team, like with the Mega Ampharos included, like 4 of his mons are weak to Ice. 2 of them don't want to be, you know, Parting Shot and shit. So yeah, we'll just get right into it. So, here he goes to Ampharos, and I go for Garchomp. And to be honest, even though this is a semi-good lead for me, he could be very bulky. And I decide, you know, I'm gonna go Florges. And yeah, he goes for Dragon Pulse, and I suspect that he might be bulky there. He goes out into Aegis Slash, as I go for the Moonblast. Get some good chip. I get a special attack drop, and that might be useful because if this thing is special, then we probably halted it for a while. So yeah, I go with a Silvally Steel, seeing what he can have, whether he's like specially offensive, and he is specially offensive. So we're able to take, or we're gonna eat this Shadow Ball more better than usual, but he gets some lucky revenge hacks, gets a Shadow Ball drop. So it's whatever. So here I go to Moltres. As he goes to Ampharos, and I'm like, ah, crap, I can't even Roost. So, unfortunately, Summerbird has to go push the fuck out. And I go to Florges, as he's gonna call this and get a Rule Switch, and go to Tapu Bulu, setting up the terrain. Now, this is actually kind of good, because I at least get some good turns of terrain turns, with double leftovers in a way, so not that bad. And especially Silvally can just take some residual recovery here. So here I just go for the Ice Beam and just smack him right there. As he goes for the Horn Leech, it does a little bit, but you know, We're gradually recovering here and there. We have our cleric, Gorgeous, so here he goes to H slash, and I go for parting shot, as H slash isn't gonna be a problem anymore. So as we could just set up what's weaker in here with the sub, and he can't do much. He goes to Ampharos, and we're gonna go for sub. And a good thing is we're gonna get a lot of recovery here, so Grassy Terrain will be gone. So here I go for Toxic just to wear down this Ampharos. And honestly, I could have just like kept Toxic stalling it with sub, but to be honest, I didn't have Protect, so it's pretty much useless to do that. So I'm gonna go Florges as he goes for the Volt Switch, and he goes to Staraptor finally. So now I have to like kind of play around with this. He actually goes Ampharos here, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, I actually go for Protect, seeing what it locks itself into, and that's pretty much very useful because now I get another Protect turn. And he goes to Age Slash, and I just go for the Moon Blast here because it's kind of free. And yeah, I'm just getting recovery. Here I'm just going for the Protect, as he goes for the Stance Change, and he goes to Flash Cannon. Now I can actually attack him right here, but to be honest, I don't want to because, you know, he's not special attack dropped and can always crit me. So yeah, here I decide, no, I think I either switch out or stay in. I just go for the like wish, thinking that I might take the Flash Cannon. And this wish is very important because now I could heal up the Silvally very easily. But this means that if he has U-turn, as you have, is to see, it will bring in Volcarona, or brother, as you see. And this puts me in a very precarious situation because now I kind of have to decide what to do, because I could go for Parting Shot and just call the setup, but at least it'll be like neutral, like, you know, like no setup at all, or with special attack. Or I could just go for the Thunder Wave, which I have, and I like the Thunder Wave option because if he doesn't have like any of, like, I think I guaranteed live any hit that's not like Fire Blast. So even if he's like Life Orb, I have a good chance to live some of those hits. So, but there's a good chance he's gonna set up. So I just go for the Thunder Wave. He goes for the Fiery Dance and he crits me, and he gets a special attack. And he is Life Orb apparently. So yeah, that could have been very, very helpful, because even though like Silvally would have died, would have been two-shotted, you know, by anything else, I would have just paralyzed this thing, and this threat would have been neutralized. And now I have to go to Chomp. Kind of like respect this thing, which is something I don't like doing. But here I just go for the Poison Jab. Now, here I'm going to explain why I have Stomping Tantrum, even though I just went for Poison Jab. Poison Jab, I went for Poison Jab for one reason, and that is, aside calling the Tapu Bulu switch in, I want to pretty much ensure that, okay, basically what Stomping Tantrum does, its secondary effect is that it doubles in power if its if its attack doesn't, like, if any of your attacks like doesn't work, or it's like, you know, it doesn't affect it. So let's say it doesn't apply to someone that's going for like, no, I think it does, but like this is more so useful in doubles, because like in doubles you see like stuff like Mega Metagross hit like Zapdos with Stomping Tantrum sometimes, because people will try to like call that. But at the same time, this will give the player a very huge advantage because it doubles in power. So maybe that guy has an Incineroar, but you have a 150 attack power Stomping Tantrum, maybe higher because of Metagross boost. I don't know exactly the boost calculation, but you get the idea. But it's 150 with Tough Claws. Now, Chomp here has Stomping Tantrum with Stab, and imagine that doubled. And that pretty much means that's pretty much a Tech Rage, and that could just kill Aegislash right then and there. So if I want to, I could just Oko Aegislash without worrying about King Shield. So that's why I'm going for these Poison Jab plays, because I felt that, you know, one, I could poison something. 2, I knock out Bulu on the switch in. 3, chip damage, and 4, if he goes to Aegislash, I pretty much can catch him right there. So, sorry for the long tangent, but that's something I wanted to explain. I do go for the Rock Tomb here just to try to predict him again. But he goes for the U-turn, he gets a crit, but at this point the Sawtooth is like weakened heavily, so he goes to Aegislash. And at this point, I kind of risk Garchomp. Even though I do have a Yachi Berry, I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go for the rocks. Because I figured, you know, how the hell am I gonna get the rock anytime and any other time, so I'm gonna go for rocks, which will be very helpful. As he actually has Atomize, which is very interesting because he hasn't revealed Protect. So that means this is a setup sweeper. With possibly a weakness policy, so yeah. That's pretty much like every time people bring Atomize, it always indicates like, or something rock polish, it always indicates like, you know, weakness policy or something like that, so I'm like, I'm not playing around with this shit, so. And here I just go for like, here I should have just gone for sub, honestly. I think I do, but like, we'll see. Because instead of Calm Mind, or even go for Toxic, because honestly anything else would have been better. If I had subbed here, I probably would have just got a Toxic on Bulu, and that would have been huge. So, or even Scald, and maybe get a burn. But here I go to Moltres, as he goes for his own sub, which is unfortunate, so yeah. Here I'm just gonna have a Flamethrower, as he reveals his final coverage option, being Stone Edge. Unfortunately he misses, so even then I would have like lived with Charlie Berry, so very easily. So, but this doesn't mean now I have free damage on this thing, and I just get a chunk on this guy. He's gonna know I have Charlie Berry, but Bulu is severely weakened now, and he goes to Ampharos. And here I'm just gonna go for the Flamethrower, just chip down this Ampharos. Now, one thing about Moltres is that it does have a little bit of Spadef option, and the fact that like unless this thing has Power Gem, I should be able to live any attack if I just go for Roost. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm just going for Roost, and if he goes for Volt Switch, I should eat that. So, and he goes to Staraptor. So this is good and bad, because good in the sense that he gets chip damage, and bad because I know something's gonna die on my spot. So yeah. I decided to let Moltres die, but if he gets burnt, whatever. Recoil from Brave Bird will be very useful, so I got a Chomp just so that he knows that, hey, if you touch this thing, you're probably gonna die. So here I just go for Poison Jab yet again. As you'll see, I finally catch the Aegislash. Quotation marks, by the way. I catch the Aegislash, and I go for the Poison Jab. And it's in theater. And guess what? I have coming for you, Aegislash. Bam. He's dead. I just got rid of like Aegislash right there and there. And now this Staraptor comes in, and I'm like, well, shit. Oh man, I screwed up the main right there. I was gonna say oh shit, here we go again, but to be honest, Suicune could just die if it wants to. I don't really see any use on Suicune, because now at this point, Delayed, Forgus, and Chomp can just like sweep his team, clean his team, provided I'm not in a very bad spot. So yeah. Here I just go to Suicune, and honestly, it's kind of it's a weird call here, but to be honest, maybe I could have went to Forgus, but I felt like, you know what, with like, you know, whatever. So I could have like I could have Forgus against the Ampharos. That's pretty much my thought process. But credit to my opponent, Connor. He does have Defog, and this puts me in a bad spot, because now I thought he was gonna go for Night Shade or something like that to knock me out, but now puts me in a bad spot, because now he just has removed rocks, and this means Volcarona is steady to sweep. And now this whole game, like, once again comes down to whether I hit a Toxic. And he's gonna vote for the River Dance, and I land the Toxic, thankfully. And now he's gonna lose a lot more HP than usual, so yay. If I had Protect, this would have been like, helpful. He does have Giga Drain, so we know some of his coverage options. And I got a Rose. Here I just go for the Wish, as he goes for the Fiery Dance. He doesn't get set up, thankfully. And yeah, at this point, he's just gonna go for the Bulu. I honestly should have attacked, because this would have just killed Bulu. 100%. This would have killed Bulu. And now I'm like, okay, he crits me, but this crit actually helps me out more than him for one reason. That's because it just lets him OHKO my Florges, which allows me to get into Chomp. And Chomp can literally just clean the rest of his team right now. So, especially with that Moonblast chip damage I just did. So it just will ensure that Bulu will die. Of course he's gonna get Grassy Terrain recovery, but now he's very low for a Poison Jab, so here I'm just gonna go for, I believe, a Poison Jab. And honestly, he could have won the game if he went for, like, I don't know. Maybe he could have won if he went to, like, okay, I'll just explain that at the end, so. I'm running ahead of myself, so. He could have gone to, like, Volcarona to get the burn, but, I go for Poison Jab just to get some chipters. And thankfully, with Stomping Tantrum not being weakened by Grassy Terrain, I could just kill this thing pretty easily. And it's pretty nice. And I get some recovery. I go for Rock Tomb, knock this thing out. And then lastly, it's Bulu. And we all know I have Poison Jab and the Glade in the back to knock it out, so yeah. So GG's to Connor. And this was one of those games where I believe this just came down to Garchomp. Garchomp just proved itself to be, like, pretty versatile right there. Being able to, like, chip down and pick off, like, everything. Like, pretty much the MVP was Chomp. So Glade didn't do shit, so. But then again, it was right there just to help clean if Chomp would have gone down. So, but yeah. So looking back, obviously the crit onto Silvally sucks because I would have just ensured that Volcarona was paralyzed, and yeah, that would have meant that, like, I wouldn't have to, like, sack Suicune. Like, Suicune would have been around, and maybe I would have sacked Florges instead. And not only that, I kind of misplayed a little bit with Moltres and Suicune to a degree, because, like, I could have at least Toxic, or hell, maybe if I got lucky, like, Scald Burn the Bulu. But, like, or like Moltres, I could have just, like, just recovered a little bit more, played a little bit more defensively, but, I was playing a little bit more aggressive than usual with Moltres, but it's what it is what it is, so. Overall, this game was pretty good on my end, so obviously, like, I think Connor had, like, a very good team to bring, like, so, like Magic Bounce. I just found out that, like, Magic Bounce just reflects Parting Shot, and I'm like, oh yeah, that could have been really bad. But, I had Ice Beam, so, and Yellow Magic if that were to happen, so. So anyways, the only other thing I'll say is that if he had gone to, like, maybe Volcarona, that might have been bad, because the game comes down to whether I get burnt or not. I might have been able to kill the Volcarona regardless with Rock Tomb, but everything else would have been, like, very weird, because, like, I know Ampharos lives like a Dragon Pulse, and then Bulu. Then that's when the crit would have mattered, because, Bulu, I think Florges would have beat Bulu in a 1v1. But I don't know, so. Anyways, GG's to Connor. And, yeah. I'll be seeing you guys next time, so as we battle Derek with some new teammates. So, see ya.